Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live session. Let me know if you guys can see me, hear me, because I had just like technical difficulties for some reason. And hopefully now you can, because I'm super excited to share everything that I've been preparing. And today we're going to be talking a lot about AI engineering, and I have lots to share with you. This is going to be packed with value and insights from the industry. So I'm really excited for today's webinar. And I know I did not put the link on the event earlier. I just realized. So hopefully you were able to find this good. Awesome. Yes. Hello. So, where you guys are joining from, and what time is it where you're joining from? I'm curious to know. It's 4 p.m. here in California, Berkeley, and yeah. I let me upload the slides so we can begin. Just a second. I'll be also sharing my screen, and I'm gonna be doing some coding as well. How do I remove this? Great. So today it's going to be only me, which is interesting. I haven't done these type of streams, so I'm excited to be here with you guys one on one. Hi, Woody from New York, California, Toronto, Bali. I was in Bali like a few months ago. How was I there was like rainy season. I did not like it. I'm so happy that I'm back. Texas, what's up? Oh my gosh, Egypt, 2 a.m. I don't know if I should be happy that you're not sleeping, but hopefully it's worth it. Worth your sleep. But oh, Baltimore. Love Baltimore. It must be super cold. Germany, same. Awesome. All over the world. So cool to see you guys. And you know what? Before I begin, I do want to know what is your level of understanding because I don't really have like a solid insight into everyone, but I have like a overview of like what people think, some misconceptions. But have you guys like let me know? Have you like tried building with like AI agents or AI workflows yourself? Have you like integrated something in the apps maybe or at your work or anything like this? I'm curious. Let's see. And tell me what you guys do. Which data role, which engineering role you guys at? Maybe you're not even in tech. Maybe you want to break into tech through AI engineering, which is a great time to do so. We have some intermediates. Great. Oh, Australia. Karen, what's up? Uh, Fundamental understanding, beginner in AI agent space, beginner. Great, great. I love to see beginners because there's just like so much, I feel like, stigma around how you need to study for like years or have a PhD to be able to build things. So I'm really happy to see beginners in this space. Newbie, full stack dev Java. That's so cool. That's so cool. Okay. Yes, trying to build. Hi, Frederick. Nice to see you from the last webinar as well. System developer, data engineer. We have data engineers working. Ooh, knowledge graphs. Those are cool. Beginners. Awesome. I'm so happy to see software engineers here just because oh just because software engineers are just like number one, I believe, role in tech that is going to be replaced by AI engineers. So if you have any software engineer friends, send this recording afterwards because everyone needs to understand that it's time to move to AI engineering, especially if you're a software engineer. Laid off database engineer. I'm sorry to hear that. There's been so many layoffs in the past 2 years, but I'm going to share with you today what kind of roles people are hiring because I have so much insight from like venture capital investments and what those funds are investing into, what kind of startups. So you're going to know a lot more about the opportunities that exist now in 2025. And honestly, like, don't you guys feel like the hiring market is just picking up? Everyone is just trying to get their first teams. They're building new products, they're implementing AI. So this is actually a very good season for you to, if you're looking for a job, to get hired and transition into a new role if you feel like you're ready. Uh, oh, that's so cool! It's so cool to see that you guys like watch my course in data camp. This is nice to see. Analytics engineer, great, awesome. iOS developer, that's so cool, guys. So Yash is sharing that you've used APIs but never coded an LLM RAG agent from scratch. Okay. Everyone has their own understanding of like what scratch means. What does from scratch mean to you? Like, absolutely zero, just like Python, or what else? Great. Is What are you guys asking about? Like when you're asking questions, I want to know, like, give me the context because I already said so much. Um, is the frame behind you tilted or is it your cam? What do you mean by this? This is just my office space. All right. Enough of the questions. Let's get started, guys. So let me upload my little presentation. Honestly, I've been so like busy. Just let me. How do I? Uh, this is from the last one. This is not what I wanted. Let me get another one. Okay. Yes, this is it. So today's presentation is going to be very, very minimal, but packed, packed with insights, and it's also going to be very engaging. So I want you to interact with me. If you have any follow-up questions, make sure to like stop and just put them in the chat. I will be checking the chat to answer it as I go, because I feel like I put the general ideas on the slide, but I'm going to be sharing lots of details as I speak. Beginner learning, awesome. Yes, and I know you guys have lots of questions about me. I'll also explain everything from there. So let's get started. So today's agenda is going to be about a background in machine learning and deep learning in general, because I believe it's very important to understand the scope of change that's happening right now. And in order to do that, we need to understand the history, how we came to where we are now. And then we're gonna transition towards understanding the current state of job market, what kind of startups are getting the most investment, what kind of roles the startups are hiring for, because just like having my own network of founders and living here in San Francisco for 10 years, I have developed a massive, massive network from people in YC, in just venture capital, and just engineers in general, open source engineers especially. There's so many of them here, and that's why I love just Bay Area. If you're into AI, you must be in Bay Area. That's my belief. And then we're gonna get into the skills, because I believe not that many people talk about this enough, and there's so many new emerging roles that are coming up that are absolutely new. Some of them are called product engineer. I know many of the content creators and engineering thought leaders are talking about this, because right now we're merging into this new space of AI engineering, and it can mean so many different things. But I'm going to explain to you today what are the core skills that companies usually hire for. And we're gonna build a little bit of our own stuff. So I told you guys beforehand, this is gonna be beginner friendly, because when I was talking with just yesterday with people who have maybe data analytics experience, a little bit of Python experience, working with pandas and stuff, that do want to work with the LLMs, they like one of them actually told me that They didn't even know that the OpenAI API documentation had everything that you need, and you don't really install any extra dependencies. So it was very straightforward. So I realized, oh my gosh, there's so many like little small things that we can cover that will give you like an aha moment that, hey, it's actually not that complicated, and you can really start small. And I'm gonna share what like the ways you can start small, basically, so that you can gradually keep your confidence up. And at the end, I'm going to share a little bit about our upcoming AI engineering bootcamp as well, for those who want more help, maybe more guidance and more collaborative environment to build things together. I will share a little bit about that opportunity towards the end. And if this is something that works for you, I'll provide an extra gift towards the end. But let's get started. How does that sound, guys? Uh, Share in the chat. Hope I'm not too fast, not too slow. So, my name is Mary, and I'm originally from Kyrgyzstan, just to give you a little bit of background. And I'm a self taught AI and machine learning engineer. Basically, I think you guys probably have read many of my posts on LinkedIn where I share that I've started businesses in the past because I had a business administration degree and I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, I was not data oriented, I was not technical, and I made lots of mistakes. And that caused me to get into like massive debt that I had to pull myself out from by just like learning Python. And you know why it was Python? I think I shared that on LinkedIn too, because I had friends back then that were data scientists. And if you remember, only a few years ago, data scientist was one of the most popular jobs in tech. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, but I don't want to go to like do a master's degree. I don't want to study. I don't have time. I need to repay all the debt. So what I did was I went to Code Academy. Back then, it was the best thing that you could do. I taught myself Python. I made my first project on computer vision on hard hats for construction work, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! I really enjoyed this new field because me coming from like ADHD, back then I did not know I had ADHD, but I realized we need lots of like variety and constant change to be able to like pay attention and get enough dopamine. So that's what I did. I was like, this profession has a high ceiling and it's always changing, and I feel like I found my space. And since then I was just like I kept learning, and I started also talking about my learnings publicly on LinkedIn. That's how I got my following, basically, and that's how I got you guys here. Just like learning about all of these new things and sharing them as I learn. And so far, that's how I was able to generate my following and create the massive newsletter of 20,000 data and AI professionals, where I share weekly news and updates on AI, and also made a course which some of you took on Data Camp. So that was on RAG. And yeah, uh, awesome. Jonathan Webb is here. Let's go. Oh, hi, Jonathan. Yeah, just looking at the chats, guys. This is so cool. Uh, okay, let's continue, guys. So my first job. Oh, this is just the last one. The thing about me, the job that got me through the debt that I told you about. It was on farming, on automating farming through computer vision and robotics. Actually, that's why my project that I made was very relevant to computer vision part of it. And most of the things that I had to do was just I had to learn on the job, and I feel like that's the best way to learn when you're getting paid to do so. So if you always have like a chance to learn at the job, don't wait until you're perfect. That's been my core message is do things as you learn things as you do them, and share about it. So I really enjoyed this like transition period, and this is what I did. And since then I've been building the community, guys, that many of you are part of. And yeah, this was a little bit about me. Now let's get into uh, the presentation about AI engineering. So before we get into that, let me see if I can. I wonder if it's like better to maximize this. Okay, cool. Uh, all right. So I don't. I'm curious, guys. If you're hearing this for the first time, let me know in the chat. But yeah, I'm curious if you heard about these names before. So first of all, let's talk about early days. It's going to be super fast, but I think for many of you, when you finish this webinar, just go after this, read about these people because you're going to get so much insight about who were the fathers of modern day technology were. And number one that you will hear everywhere is Claude Shannon, and he's the father of our modern day information world. And he's the one who created the concept of like bits, and we're able to translate the data into the digital format. And that's when things started get interesting. That's in the 50s. I think we had prominent people like Claude Shannon as well as Noam Chomsky, who many NLP engineers know because he was the one who created the structure, the grammatical structure of natural language that further was used in natural language processing that we still use to this day. So these were the giants that paved the road for many of us. And in the 80s, now we're transitioning to our traditional machine learning algorithms that were first introduced by IBM. They called them statistical applications back then, statistical machines. And that's where first time in our history we started learning from data. And since then, however, I know many of you must have like heard about like AI winters. AI winter is basically when like investments stop pouring into AI because people are not as enthusiastic and they don't believe in them. So this is what happened afterwards. We did not have any big breakthroughs up until Nvidia showed up. So the reason why Nvidia is huge these days, it was not only because of their chips, but because they back in 2000s they basically understood the opportunity of the GPUs. And back then GPUs were used for graphical interface for video games, and it was able to process things in parallel comparing to like CPUs. And Nvidia was like, huh, this is very interesting. It looks like these researchers are trying to use these GPUs to train their models, but they didn't really have a good like software to be able to use these GPUs. So this is what Nvidia did, and CUDA was born. And this specific moment in history further aided into the development of like AlexNet. And that's when deep learning researchers were able to use this hardware to create and build and train these neural networks on a massive scale. If you guys remember ImageNet, that's how ImageNet people like, I think it was like million images that were collected and used by this neural network. So this was massive, and after AlexNet came around, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, neural networks is the new best thing. Every scientist, data scientist, needs to apply it." And that's how we had more computer vision models, language models, and audio processing models that use these neural networks. But of course, there is a but. Neural networks were not enough, and because they could not scale, it was too much data and the architecture did not allow scalability. And in 2017, the famous I'm not even gonna, guys, put in the chat if you know which paper I'm talking about. If you guys don't know this, I want to know your name. I want to know your role. I want to know why you don't know this. What I'm talking about, which paper, Transformers. Just like anyone, put it in the chat. I'm curious. I'm not gonna say the name, but this research paper, the famous research paper, it changed the entire trajectory and helped ChatGPT came around in 2022. And this was when everything just like changed. The paradigm of machine learning changed forever. Great, great. Thank you guys. Thank you for your. This is very much. I feel better now that you guys know this. Attention is all you need. Great job. Uh, yeah. Yes, Bird was there, LSTMs were there, and before the large language models, those were the models, but they had very low context windows and they couldn't like generate things on a massive scale that large language models can. So ChatGPT was like, oh my gosh, it's time to show the world what it can do, and it made it available for the public use and for the commercial use through their APIs, and the world has changed forever. So this is where you come in. Mm, let's see what I got. So before before ChatGPT, before generative AI, what happened was all these machine learning engineers and data scientists were focusing on specialized tasks that would require people having their PhDs in a very focused topic, like either fraud detection, sentiment analysis, time series forecasting. These are like traditional machine learning algorithms, as well as deep learning algorithms that would usually take like years to build and train, because you would still require GPUs and researchers. So it was not accessible for companies. For many companies, it was only accessible for like big tech companies that had the budget for R&D departments, and the only companies that could afford machine learning engineers were them, basically, or very like, I would say, boutique AI research labs. So that's what that was the landscape of machine learning engineers back then, and many people like debate with me about like why machine learning engineers and AI engineers are not the same. And today I'm going to share more about it, because after Gen AI, what we have now is we have models that can be generalized towards not only one problem, but many different problems. Most of the both closed source and open source models are multimodal now. You can work with any type of data, with any images, text, any problems that can be solved now with these large language models. So the problem now becomes not about training those models, but how do we use these large foundation models and apply them to our custom use cases? And you don't really need to invest much into custom infrastructure, because you don't need to host those models yourself. You don't need to be responsible for all those things, because it's all now taken care of. And this became only possible in the last few years, and that's why everyone is just frantically crazy about what's happening in the application side of Gen AI. And I know many of you guys know, maybe you don't. If you don't, do check out AI engineering book written by Chip. She is a professor at Stanford, and she had written the book about machine learning engineering and now AI engineering, and that's where she talks about the difference as well. Yes, Suresh, let me know what you mean by NJ and no. I always open want to I want to hear your thoughts too. But see what's happening. Like the we don't many people don't understand the scale of the change that's taken place right now. And I think this is also and it's also still 2024. The things that are going to happen in 2025 will be massively increased by AI agents, because now we don't only make few API calls to get the response through like just text or whatever. Nowadays, it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of API calls through agentic frameworks, and many people are excited about the opportunity to utilize this. But again, in order to do this, you need certain type of skills. And talking about investments. Uh, Talking about investments here, this is the private equity and virtual capital investment data that is, I think it's, yes, it was published in January 10, 2025. Great. This is the graph that I wanted to share with you guys. And Gen AI investments have doubled since 2023. And like, look at how low it was in 2022, because that's when ChatGPT was released. And look at the deal value. Went up more than $50 billion in 2024, which means there's lots of companies that are looking to hire, because number one expense, remember, is the talent. And this is where the company's money is going to go into you guys, if you know how to leverage your skills. So, by the way, I think this is another part of it. Not only application side, but also infrastructure side of Gen AI is increasing drastically, because the infrastructure of Gen AI is basically, think of it like all the tooling, all the vector databases, everything that is required to build Gen AI applications. They also need their own solutions, and these are all the solutions that investment firms uh, believe are going to be in demand, because everyone was trying to put them in production. So keep this in mind if you are searching for a job. I always recommend not only looking at consumer side companies, but also infrastructure side. Uh, yes, great questions, guys. I will try to get the questions that are relevant to the slide. What is the book called? The book called is AI Engineering. It's literally called, I think, AI Engineering by Chip Huan. Some like somebody please text it. Yes, thank you, Frederick. So so here's the thing, guys. I've been researching, I've been reading, and I've been talking with many founders, with investors, with just amazing engineers. And most of us agree that for people who do not have extensive machine learning background, who do not have PhDs, who do not even have 10 years of like software engineering background, the best way to enter this field is through application side. So, what I mean by that, look at the three blocks below. See, these are the companies that did the work for us. They've invested massive amount of money to like be able for us to be able to build things on top of it. So look at the semiconductors, the cloud providers, the model providers. They already have done the majority of the job. So for us now, we need to figure out how to put these things into use. And I think that's why 2025 is the year of builders and experimentation and deployment. So uh, so I have questions. What are the skills asked for AI infra side? Is it true? So we're gonna try to get those, I guess, those questions towards the end as well, guys, because we need to go through everything. But I love this. The market is saturated question, by the way, Adam. People think that it's saturated, but I'm gonna tell you that there's not enough skill set. There's not enough people that know how to work with Gen AI in production environment. That's why even startup founders these days are struggling to find engineers who know how to build these type of engineering AI engineering solutions. And I was just talking with my friend yesterday, who also made a post earlier this week about how he is getting on interviews with these software engineers that literally do not know how to create evaluation frameworks for their LLM use cases. And I feel like this is like a very untapped hidden spot. Like, it might be obvious for me, but it's not saturated, guys. There's so much demand and too little supply from the talent side, especially when it comes to AI engineering. So keep this in mind. Um, and the reason why, by the way, this is a great transition to the slide. The reason why there's a problem of hiring, because we're still new. Like, we're so new. Everyone is still trying to figure out how to make these things reliable, because guess what? No matter how big and performant a model is, it's still going to hallucinate. It's still a stochastic service, meaning that it's non-deterministic by nature, meaning that things that it's going to like produce from like today and tomorrow, they're not going to be the same. They're not reliable, but there are ways to make it reliable, and that's what companies are searching for. They need someone who understand how to deal with things like hallucinations, with things like model training cutoffs. And by that I mean, you know how like many commercial models trainings are cut off by a certain date, like they stop training like, let's say, January 2024, but so much has happened since then, and how we're going to account for that. The companies also need to understand how to deal with compounding errors with agents, again, because we're going to have hundreds and thousands of API calls for from the same service. So this is exciting problems to solve, actually, because that's where the real the gold, is it called gold mine? I'm not a native English speaker. Gold mine, I guess, when you figure out where the most gold is. And companies also need someone who understands scalability, because again, we have never deployed non-deterministic models at such a scale, and this is again another big problem, as well as explainability. How we're going to explain what a model is going to tell to your customer, or what if there is a prompt injection issue and you don't know how the customer got all your proprietary financial data, and now you're in trouble. So companies are investing heavily in this, and if you position yourself as someone who knows how to do it or has done something like this, then again, you will be replaceable in 2025, in 2026, in 2027. Uh, Beyond that, I'm not sure. People think there's going to be AGI, but I'm not sure about that. Everyone is so enthusiastic here. But yeah, let's continue. So here's the thing that I feel like many data professionals, especially, and tech professionals, don't understand, that every single role will be impacted by Gen AI, if not already. Because again, people that are working in big tech may not realize that people who are building startups right now are creating their direct competitors. Because right now everyone is understanding the capabilities of Gen AI in more details, and they're figuring out ways how to, let's say, for analysts, take all the data from the company and create dashboards. You know how analysts make dashboards, they spend weeks on that, and they're only to be used by stakeholders, by their management on a one meeting. So guess what? Companies figured out that it's not a good use of their time. They can use the agent for that. Same with software engineers. There's no more entry level positions for software engineers. And for many of us, it might be alarming. For many graduate students, especially, it's alarming. But again, if you know how to become an AI engineer, that's a different talk. But as of now, everyone is going to be impacted by Gen AI disruptions, including, and by what I mean impacted, I don't also mean like you shouldn't feel like it's threatening, because at the end of the day, we are stepping as a humanity on a different level of capabilities that we could never afford ourselves to do so. So I feel like these are just superpowers that you can use. For instance, the other day I was at the, I think, at the Google office. They were talking about how they're using synthetic data for their reward functions in their reinforcement learning models, and that way they can really like improve their training rounds and make the robotics so much better. So I feel like these things are just, you shouldn't be afraid of them. You should just be aware of them, be informed how your specific position will be impacted. Just Google, literally Google what type of startups exist that do the same exact role that you're doing. And there's many, believe me. There's so many. And the fact that we're not hearing about them, it doesn't mean that they're not building them right now in their San Francisco garages on the weekends at their hackathons. So keep this in mind. And And take a look at this chart. So this chart is from Hacker News Hiring. If you don't know, Hacker News is like a big YC powered newsletter, community run type of like Reddit type of newsletter, I would say. So this is where they also hire people. They post their jobs, and look at this trend. It's so interesting to me because again, there's going to be, I think Andrei Karpathy said this, that there's going to be more AI engineers than machine learning, deep learning engineers and scientists combined. And if you look at the blue line that says AI is just blowing up. Meanwhile, machine learning and deep learning engineers, they're staying the same. The demand for those roles are not going up or down. So keep this in mind. If you do want to transition to tech, or if you want to transition to AI, this is actually a great starting point for you. And again, you do not have to have a machine learning, deep learning experience, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Um, so I was thinking the other day, what are the type of roles that are emerging? And here's some of them that I thought, and it's both for non-tech and tech roles. Feel free to screenshot, but I'm sure there's going to be more naming conventions out there than this one. So take a look at, I think I put them as like a complexity level, like how hard it is to get into one. So the lowest one is basically like the easiest entry point. And believe me, there are still roles called prompt engineering, which is very interesting to me, but they still do exist. So look at the other ones though. On the tech side, prompt engineer, AI contractor is big. Everyone is trying to figure out their POCs, proof of concept. They're trying to build things and experiment to see where is the upside for their businesses. Even like mom and pop shops are trying to do this. So everyone is trying to adopt this. An AI contractor job is actually on the boom right now. If you go to the Upwork or any freelancing platforms, this is great. If you don't have any portfolio projects, this is a great starting point. And then there is product engineer, which is very, very new, actually, quite recent. I saw it on Anthropic's job posting the other day. You should check it out. It's basically just like solutions architect, but for AI, meaning that you need to create custom solutions for your enterprise clients. So basically, whatever, if it's a model provider or infrastructure provider, they have their own enterprise clients, and you would be experimenting with their toolings and providing custom solutions for their customers, basically. And here's an AI engineer, AI developer, however you want to call it. It's somebody who has a strong foundation on software engineering skills and who understands how to deploy these non deterministic large language models into production. And there's so many nuances to do so, and this is what our bootcamp is, by the way, focused on, mainly on this side, AI engineering and AI developer side, because there's nuances that only people who have worked with such things know. um, so like, let me see the questions, guys. I believe Bill is saying, I believe you still need strong fundamentals in some of the most areas. I do not replace anytime soon. I don't think, but more of an assistant to be more efficient. Exactly. Yes. Yes, you do need strong fundamental skills. Again, in order to become a good AI engineer, you still need to know a good amount of software engineering. And guess what? You know what I find the most exciting though? For people who do not have extensive software engineering experience, is that you can learn them. You can learn them with Cursor. Like, it's so crazy how these coding assistants could be coding tutors at the same time. As they build, they will teach you. So it's not like, I feel like our understanding of AI assistants is going to shift a lot, because they're not just going to be doing one task at a time. You can always program them to be your coach, your tutor. It has Cursor has like rules. If you check their like general settings, go to the rules if you're using it, and you can create your own system prompt saying, hey, I am a junior engineer. I'm like trying to learn TypeScript, whatnot. Let's build something together and you can explain me things as we go. And this is going to massively cut your learning time. And if you're not a software engineer, this is what you should be doing because I truly believe everyone should have these software engineering fundamentals because otherwise, how are you going to leverage what we have so far? It's not that hard. It's not hard. It's the easiest time to do so. And we're going to focus on these roles because there's, of course, AI research engineer, and it does require some machine learning background, especially when it comes to fine tuning, especially when it comes to integrating things like reinforcement learning to your LLM stack. So those are a little bit more involved, and I don't think that's an entry level positions. So we're going to focus on more like entry level positions that are still very much like high paid and that has lots of upside, especially for newcomers. So we're gonna focus on these roles, and for non-tech roles, guys, I'm just gonna quickly go through it. If you're interested, if you want to be customer facing, if you want to be in communications a lot, there's so many developer advocacy roles right now. You know why? Let's go back to that slide. Where is that slide? Look at this slide. Infrastructure. See this? See how many infrastructure companies are there right now? And guess what? All of them need developer advocates. Why developer advocates? Because they want to explain to people on the internet how to use their tools. And developer advocates, that's what they do. They run events, they create POCs, they write articles. Great role, by the way. Yeah, where are we? Yeah, technical content writers are the same, almost similar. They're also in very much high demand. You still need to be technical. You still need to understand all the system design, but you won't be necessarily coding as much. But it's a great roles to consider anyway. Uh, let's see, a solutions consultant, basically a sales roles, and product managers. We're not. There are so many like bootcamps on Maven on product. I think like product managers, especially non-technical ones, this is great for them. But today we're talking about AI engineers, so let's focus. Okay, so this is what I came up with. I was like, I don't care what others think. This is my observation-based conclusions on what are the core skills that every AI engineer needs to have. Because again, because we have AI coding assistants, we do not need large teams of engineers anymore. We do not need very separated like specialists. Now we have more generalist type of engineers that need to understand both sides of the equation. One is the product design on how to make things more sticky with especially TypeScript AI SDKs. Again, if you do not know this, AI is used in TypeScript, not Python. There's a huge misconception there that Python is the language of AI, but in production, it's TypeScript. Let me know if this is news for you too, guys. I'm curious. But yeah, there's lots more support on UX and UI for AI applications on TypeScript. That's why I always encourage people to study TypeScript if they want to get into AI engineering application side. And the second one is system design. How you're gonna design your agents, how you're gonna design your guardrails, how you're gonna design your logic, business logic, system logic. And oh, this is interesting. Somebody says this. I watched a YouTube video where the speaker said AI engineer has two approaches: user approach and builder approach. I love this. I love this so much. And this is great. That's exactly what I'm talking about. User approach and builder approach. By user, it's probably you got to focus on the user, you got to focus on the product, you got to make sure it sticks, that it's actually valuable. And builder approach is back It's all about how do you connect those external internal databases and with your LLMs, and how you're going to connect web search if you want to. So there's like so many things that are happening in the back end. News for me, that's definitely news. Yes, I'm glad. I'm glad to share the news with you. But this is true. TypeScript is the language of AI, and foundation models. Foundation models, because why? You need to understand which foundation model to use when, because some foundation models, like as you guys, many of you know, some of them are great for coding, some of them are great for text generation. So you really need to test and understand which one works the best for you. And like there's just so many details that I'm not going to get into now, because sometimes I just like to go into these rabbit holes. So here's the skills. I was thinking, like, what are the fundamentals only, because there's so many requirements usually in the job descriptions, but this is what I want to stick. So take two. Again, fundamentals of software engineering that you can always pick up, especially on the back end, because all the front end has SDKs written in TypeScript. That's why I'm putting Python in TypeScript, because real world AI is written in TypeScript. And then know how to work with coding assistants. That's like literally in the job descriptions. In every AI engineering role, like if you do not know how to work with these coding assistants or build your own, then what are you even doing? Like AI engineering is not for you then. But this is the reality. So start using Cursor. This is my favorite. I don't know. There's so many others like Windsurf. I think it's free. I don't remember. Yeah, but it's amazing what it can do though, especially on like teaching part as well. I'm learning a lot. I'm still learning. Guys, by the way, I do not know TypeScript, but guess what? I have Cursor. And I have our co-teacher, like full stack AI engineer who knows TypeScript very well, and who's going to be teaching all of this fun part on the bootcamp. I can't wait to learn from him as well, because this is where you can like build really cool stuff. Anyway, and then build sticky, user-friendly projects. No more rags, please. And the reason why I said no more rags is because AI is stepping into agents now. In 2025, it's all about agents. Nobody cares about retrieving your data because everyone knows how to do it. It's not enough. Working just with your proprietary data is not enough. You need to be able to crawl the web. You need to scrape all the websites. You need to get all the data from outside. Not only data, but the APIs. Now we have the tools. There's so much to like integrate. So Rags is like last year, literally, says the person who created the course. So already it's not enough. Uh, yes. Did I explain myself to Sun? Why no more rags? Yeah. If I didn't, let me know, please, because again, rags is not enough. If you only have rag in your portfolio, it's like okay, okay, so like that's it. That's not. It's like 1/10 of what you should have there, and we're gonna talk more about what you should have there. Okay. Okay. I think this is a. We already went over this. We don't have to do this. Okay. Cool. So now let's get to the fun part. If you guys watched my last live session, our last webinar, we talked about levels of autonomy when it comes to agents. And let me tell you this, I've been researching on what is the exact definition of AI agents and been asking my AI engineering friends. And this is just sorry, I just read this and I feel like uh don't feel like, please, I don't want to scare you or anything. Don't worry, rag is not that complicated. You're not behind. I mean, I don't want to make feel people behind, because these are the things that you can catch up with if you know where to study and what communities to be involved in and how to do things. You can catch up. So don't get anxious, please. uh So what's next? Levels of autonomy. That's how people define agents. They define them by how autonomous they are in their decision making. And by that, what I mean is, can AI agents execute those tasks on their, like, without your involvement? If so, then it's an AI agent. So think of it as like AI agent in the loop that basically just runs something and then evaluates something and then runs it again without your involvement. So like that's how people describe AI agents as well. But yeah, I did want to go over. Let me know if you guys have any questions, because I did want to go over like quickly on what you can build, and I feel like that's because we are a little bit running behind the time. We still have 30 minutes or so, but I wanted to show you something. Actually, let's. I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna go over something fun. But meanwhile, let me see. Maybe I shouldn't. Where did I want to start? I wanted to show you this article first. Let's go over the article first, because I think that's more important to do it first. Let me send you the link. Do you guys want a link, and as well as watch my screen as we go through it? I think you should read this on your own as well after the webinar. Here it is, sending it in the chat. And how do I my entire window? Oh, entire screen. Okay, can you guys see me? I mean my screen. Okay, so I think I got this. Let me do it like so that you see a bigger screen. So let's go over this real quick before I show you what I built. So this is like a nice article. By the way, the author of this article is going to be a speaker in our bootcamp, and I'm really excited to see her because she really broke this down very well. Vellum is like a end-to-end production infrastructure tooling, like one of those that I showed you guys. So in this article, she shares very like a great breakdown of what agent is, and we're gonna go through them one by one. We did it last time, but let's refresh our memory. And yeah, so basically, you see how like this is a very simple architecture of what agents or AI system is. Oh, before that, it's just first one is just like rule based, no decision making. It's basically when you're on the Chat GPT's chat UI and you're asking questions. This is it. This is the number one. And then the next one is they call it executor. And here's at this level, AI can process inputs, retrieve relevant data, and generate responses. So guess what? This is basic RAG because it retrieves data, relevant data, generates responses based on that data. This is very simple. Not so much autonomy, just getting the documents in. Next is now we're going to get interesting. By the way, those who are asking about like what is RAG, this is RAG. And this one is a little bit more complicated. And by the way, this is what most companies are doing these days. Not this is where majority of startups are building their AI systems. Nobody is really doing like complete autonomous agents these days because it's unreliable. And this one is the most popular. So what's happening here? Uh, it's execution based. It can, so see how it has all the tools. It has web search just like Perplexity does. It has retrieval from your data sources, and it has evals including memory. So this is basically now you just have tools that you can execute on. You give your AI permission to go search the web, it does, and brings it back to you. So the system decides when to retrieve data from APIs. So it also, not only that, not only it has access to your tools, but it also decides, for instance, if it did not have enough information from like your own data set, it'll be like, huh, I don't have the answer, let me go search the web. So it does that. So see, this is where we have the loop going. There is no loop, here's the loop. And this is how we define autonomy and decision making. Okay. Most AI apps today live at this level. It's a step toward agency, but still fundamentally reactive. It's only acting when triggered. This is basically where we are, and this is the next level that gets more complicated because now, guess what? It has to manage a state. And by state, it means not only just the memory that it has from your chat history, like here, but it also has the state from what has changed in your tools, in your databases, in your data sources. It keeps track of those things basically. And then it also plans things ahead. So it's like sequence. If you haven't seen like deep research on perplexity, this is what it's doing. It's multi-step workflow, and it also has evals. So this is fancy, but again, it's not a truly autonomous agent. Because why? Fully autonomous agents maintain state, and by maintaining state means they never shut off. Basically, they are always keeping track of what's happening. They're monitoring all of the environments that you have give access to. And it's a lot more complicated. And again, people do not have the budgets to do so. And not only that, there's so much that you can do even with this. And this is what startups are hiring for. But yeah, how does this make sense? So RAG literally takes a PDF and just searches along and answer question. Yep, you're right, you're right. That's exactly it, Adam. You got this. Um, oh, sorry, it's blurry. My bad. I will. Yep. But before I wanted, we actually finished going over this article because this is now like science fiction. I mean, it's not science fiction, but we're not there yet, and that's not what companies are hiring for. Therefore, we're not going to focus on this. We are grounded in practical solutions that people pay for. And if you see from this graph, this is what, again, uh, people are here. They're even on like L1 using tools. They're not even managing the state, but the innovation is happening there for sure. And see how like nobody really does these things just yet. But yeah, let me now go over my little app. Are you guys ready for this? We are gonna start a fun part uh, of building something of our own. And I was thinking about like what I could build for you guys to show that it doesn't have to be intimidating. Like it can be fun and useful. Um, my bad. Let me. I'm gonna try to zoom in, guys. Okay. So let's. I was thinking about the project idea. So guess what I came up with that could be very very simple and something that you can take home and put your own data, put your own tasks, and run it on your own. Because I feel like you learn best from doing. And this is like from Anthropic's. Oh wait, before I show you this, yes, this is what I wanted to show you. So like Anthropic is a different school of thought. So you see how like I shared the autonomy levels. That's one way of thinking about AI agents. But uh, another way of thinking about AI systems in general is to divide them into AI workflows and AI agents. And for some of them, workflows are considered agents, but for Anthropic, they think it's a workflow. It's not an agent. But you know why? Because they think this is where get people can utilize these design patterns the best in the production environment. And usually they identified the four different. Hopefully you guys can see this. Uh, Four different workflows. Number one is prompt chaining. Number two, parallelization. Number three, evaluator optimizer. Number four, orchestrator. So why don't you take a screenshot of this? Because I'm going to ask you a question at the end about what I built for you guys. And I want to hear your thoughts, which one you think it is. If I build this orchestrator, if I build a prompt chainer, if I build an evaluator, or so take a screenshot or go to Anthropic's website. It's literally called, just Google this and you're going to see this. And yeah, I want you to just think about it as I go through the project, and I want to hear your thoughts on which architecture I built today. I'm curious what you guys come up with. So let me run. So can you did you guys see what I showed? Because I don't have a second screen. But can you make full screen sound visible? I think I just did. Akanksha, can you tell me can you guys tell me if you can see the code if I share it like this? Or if you can zoom in at least, that would be very helpful. Uh, I need your help, you guys, if you can see it or not. But anyway, let's run this. I already had this set up. Oh, I think. So here's the little demo. Look, so I built a little AI cover letter generator. So you know how when you're applying for jobs, you have to write your own custom letter for jobs? I'm like, I don't want to do this. It's a lot of work. But guess what? Hiring managers really care about this. And what a better way to do it if we simply upload our resume and upload the job posting, and it's going to generate us a nice little cover letter. Does anyone have does anyone have their resume they want to share with me, or or maybe a job posting? We can test it out. Oh, oh no, it's too blurry. What about if I make it bigger? Okay, what about is there a way to do this? Scale. What does this mean? Oh, okay. I think we figured it out, guys. Is this so blurry though? Why do I pay $40 for this? Oops. How about now, guys? What about is it still blurry? I'm gonna give you a second. Just let me know if as long as you can see this screen. Okay, cool, thanks. I'm glad it worked. So, product engineering job. Do you want to use that as okay, we can do this. Well, there was this job I wanted to product engineering. I think it's gonna take me a while to find this job. Okay, here it is. We found it. This is the job. Look how much it makes. It's so cool. I mean, pays. Okay. Let's take this job. And I don't have time to take your resume, but when I was testing this, don't think we need this. It's a UTM. When I was testing this like thing, I used my friend's resume. Karun, many of you probably know him. He's another creator. But I was like, why not make fun of his graduate student resume? But anyway, we gave this. I feel like this should be correct. And now let's generate. On the back end, it's running two LLM calls asynchronously. And I'm gonna show the code, but right now it's building as we speak. And if you want to check out the code with me, just go to this link. I think this is the code, and this is the gift I was talking about, Frederick. All right, it's more than 10% discount, but it's a project that you could use to build your own. Oh, look at this! Awesome. This is the cover letter. Dear hiring manager, after learning about Anthropic's mission, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, I was eager to apply as a master of computational. Okay, this is good. This is good. It's taking my data from the resume, taking the data from the link, and it's like giving what exactly it wants. I developed this much, and it's very relevant. Dang, it's actually not bad. Yeah, and you can download this and copy this as well. So just I gave you the link. Run it on your local server, local machine, and like play around with it. I think this is. I'm curious what you guys think. What I built. Pratik says it's orchestrator. Interesting. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think it's. No, I'm gonna hear. I'm gonna hear what you think it is. Out of all, like, just go to the blog post. If you can't see my screen, go to there and like try to figure out which one I built, just like for fun. And let's look at the code. It could also help you. So if you go to my, by the way, feel free to like star this thing, because I'm gonna be putting a lot more like projects like these and resources for you here. And if you go to the sandbox, you can find this project. And if you go to this project folder, you will see that there's literally only like two main um, files here that you need to pay attention to. So basically, honestly, it's actually just this one file. The app file is for Streamlit, it's for UI. But let's go over the code. Can you guys let me check if you guys can see it? No, it's not. But so Autumn, remember, I don't know TypeScript. I wish. I mean, like, not that like I can't build with it just yet, but I know I can like learn fast. That's why I have Hi, our co instructor. He knows TypeScript. I'm gonna learn from him during the bootcamp as well. Um, but you can build so many things with Python on Streamlit. Honestly, the backend is what matters. So look at the backend. Okay, so I have some responses, prompt chaining, evaluate prompt chaining. You know what? This is what I thought it was too. Cause like originally I didn't even like think about specific workflow. I was like, let me just build something and then figure out which one it is. But I'm still like thinking about this. Evaluator optimizer. This is not it. Why do you think that I'm not evaluating anything? I'm not. Did you look at the code, by the way? Okay, let's look at the code first. This will give you a better idea. Data models. So, okay, let's start with the libraries that I'm using. Very simple, very demure. That was very Gen Z of me. But look at the libraries. Pydantic is one of the most popular libraries to use to validate LLM's outputs. And everybody is just like has been raving about this library. I'm really excited about their new stuff too. But Pydantic is what you need to pay attention to. Temp file is just like creating temporary files when you are extracting the data from the resume and from the website. When you're scraping it, you need to like store it somewhere. So that's what we're going to use it for. And async, it's like four asynchronous tasks that we're going to use. And logging is just to, since we do not know what's happening under the hood, we at least need to see like in some like functions what is it doing, just to keep track of things. And Firecrawl is my favorite web scraping, web crawling tool. Actually, it's the best. It's the best. So first things first, you set up your logging and then you set up your data models with Pydantic. This is what Pydantic does. It really like just helps you make your LLM outputs more reliable. So in your classes here, we're gonna basically define what do we want to get out of those LLM calls. And see, on the resume extraction, we're just like, we want to get the experience, we want to get the skills, we want to get the education, like everything that you care about to generate your cover letter, basically. And then like job extraction. Here's the same thing. Like you gotta scrape the website and get what matters the most, like the company, the requirements, the description, and then uh, you need the cover letter itself. So this is where you create these functions. Remember, oh, wait. Remember that these prompt chaining is like more like sequential. So whoever said prompt chaining, I don't know if that you are 100% right. I don't think you are. And evaluator, I can see why you think that, but it's not it. And parallelization is this is where I would say it's mostly true, because here this is why we have async, right? Basically, you're calling these things in the parallel. Otherwise, it would take like twice as much time to get back everything. So this is what we do. We create these two functions to run in parallel. Extract the resume info, extract the job info, right? And at the end, we're combining them together, the outputs that we're getting, and calling our last function, generate cover letter. And that's about it for the LLM calls. So we have 3 calls that we're combining them here and running them async and managing our temporary files. So this is basically the last function that combines everything and runs our script. And so far, I feel like, first, let me hear what you guys think. Parallelization. What is that supposed to mean, Shahir? Parallelization. I say 2. What was that? What was 2? John, 2 is parallelization. You know what? I think you're right. I think you're right. I think so. Tell me, guys, what you guys think, because I think this is basically because it's running async and it's aggregating and it's outputting. So great job. Amazing job. Great job, everyone. So did you get the code? Experiment on your own. Run it on your local machine, and I think that's, wait. I wanted to share something else, not the screen. Replace with the presentation. Okay. Awesome. I hope you guys learned today. So tell me, like, what are your biggest learnings from today? I'm curious. Like, maybe like top three things that you did not realize. I know many of you said TypeScript was new. Maybe like probably definition of agents was new. What do you guys learn today? What's the value that you thought was like cool or like valuable, like because like the whole point of this live session is to show you that it's possible, that you need to start being consistent with these things and you need to be experimenting a lot more, because guess what we did today on the project for the cover generation is very bare minimum of what you could be doing. And on top of what we built today, you need to set up your own logic when it comes to system design. Like, you saw how many different ways to like create the workflows and agents, but there's absolutely like exponential amount of like custom system architecture that you can build with agents. And again, your imagination is the only limitation that you have here. Foundation, what to focus on and learn. Exactly. Rags aren't useless, they're just limited. Exactly. I learned I definitely want to shift away from ML and DS and toward Gen AI. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Frederick. Uh, TypeScript is important. Absolutely. View of the advancement in agentic technology, I guess. Amazing. AI can write code if you know how to use it. Yes, Carrie, that's probably one of the biggest takeaways. It should be. You need to learn how to use those things to 10x your productivity, because at the end of the day, you just need to understand system design and AI can crunch it up for you. Anthropic, yes, that's a big one. If you're talking with any AI engineer, that's the first thing that comes to their mind is Anthropic and probably LangChain and LangGraph. Uh, there's room for everyone. I love this. Icornia, I love this. There's room for everyone. If you're a lifelong learner, face red heart shape. Yes, exactly. Like, that's the thing. Like, I want people to understand is that if you even come from non-technical background, people need you. People need subject matter experts. If you have some like experience in some area in your career, like, doesn't matter if it's technical or non-technical, if you have subject matter expertise, you just need to understand what kind of opportunities are there so that you can leverage AI, build with AI, and differentiate yourself in this job market. Because again, people need diversity. And I hate to see like only males in the industry. I really hate. I'm sorry for my male friends. I'm not meaning like that. I just want to see more females too, or like underrepresented minorities, because it's all about confidence at the end of the day. And I believe it's really hard to get your self-esteem at the same level of like a tenured engineer at big tech who has like enough confidence to do these type of things. But at the end of the day, you need that self-esteem to be able to say, hey, I can build the same things without a degree, without a technical background. I can do the same things. And guess what, in order to have that, you need to set up a great ecosystem for your growth. By ecosystem, I mean having supportive environment, having a daily routine where you learn about these things, when you build these things. uh, so I think that's why like the best thing about the bootcamp is just the environment that we're providing for people, where they can learn these things and supported by many other professionals that are also invested in their growth. And that's when you really see like tangible outcomes, transformational outcomes. So uh, yes, we need tackle, exactly, especially with AI. We need to give more data points. Uh, SB saying, I learned about the massive career opportunities in AI engineering and how to get started immediately and learned about the value of TypeScript and building it. Amazing. Amazing. That was the point. Uh, Evaluating and choosing the right LM is important. Exactly. That's also a skill in and of itself. We should prioritize career in AI application LM. Exactly. Yes. Because again, all those titans, all those giants already provided that for you. Now, even like look at the valuation of Cursor. Uh, I think like somebody on LinkedIn shared how much they grew. Cursor valuation, how much they grew within their first 2 years. They're valued at 2.5 billion, guys, and the team is less than what, 20 people? That's insane to me. That's the fastest growing application, Gen AI application. And believe me, this is just the beginning because these guys just were like into software engineering and machine learning. They knew how to piece things together fast. But if you do the same, if you know how to piece these things together, then you can achieve amazing results. Uh, AI engineering is the future. I'm going to build this. Let's go, let's go. I know I was thinking about like DeepSeek too, but it's like, I have my API key set up already. This is the greatest technological revolution of our times. You missed out on the popularization of the internet. This is your chance. Yes, thank you for the chance, Kevin. You're right. You're right. You're right. Actually, because this is like internet. This is the new platform that we're all building upon together, and that's why everyone is crazy about this, and you should be too. Honestly, thanks for the tip. Last question: is there any point to grind leak code because I cannot emphasize enough how much I could not care about reversing? Frederick, that's funny, but I think you still do. Software engineers still have leak code rounds and coding rounds, but I believe it's going to change towards system design. 100%. Because, again, with all of these coding tools, coding assistants, we do not need to know much about these small details about how syntax works, how we can create different like functions and optimize them in a time space complexity. I think AI can do it better than us. Our job is to integrate these things on matters that matter the most to us. So hopefully that's going to change, but so far I don't think it will. But we'll see. Uh, let's see. Awesome, awesome. I'm so happy to hear that you guys got a lot of value here. Demetrius Dolius saying your agent is the product manager here. Uh, I don't know what you mean, but product manager. But yeah, like you can build so many amazing tools like these, you know. Um, And I do agree with the Pratik best LM for non-complex task I tried. Gemini Flash 2.0 is like Hai has been telling me, our co-teacher, that he's using Gemini 2.4 Flash for his startup as well. He does like OCR for video, so this is working great as well on top of like other tasks. So I agree. But yeah, let me just share quickly, guys, about the boot camp. If you guys are interested in just like getting up to speed, with what's going on and actually getting things built on a daily basis, and through like consistency and accountability. By accountability I mean, if you are lacking motivation or you don't have I don't know, the foundational skills like software engineer skills, TypeScript skills, or things like that, and you don't know where to start, then I think this is going to be perfect for you. And we're going to be helping a lot for you to navigate through the complexity that agents provide, and we'll be able to build custom agent systems, which is going to be so fun. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be not only collaborative environment, this is going to be also a competitive environment. And by competitive I mean, at the end of the project, the capstone project, three best developers are going to be featured on my LinkedIn in front of 100,000 people, in front of 20,000 like emails, data and AI. Guess what? How many professionals are there? And also, we have a network of people that are hiring for AI engineers that are searching. And if this is something that you wanted, like to accelerate, instead of building things on your own for 3 6 months and then like just being always late to the updates, then then probably that's not for you. But if you want to grow with the community, with the mentorship from me and Hi is our co-teacher that I mentioned to you guys in the beginning. He's amazing. I convinced him to do this with me because I believe there is lots of demand for AI engineers and I just want to help the market. And I also want to learn from him, honestly, too, and have this amazing experience with you guys as well. So if you look at oh, I didn't even share my, we still have some spots left. We are going to be starting on March 10th. I know some of you, I think Frederick is already there. But for those who aren't, here's the link to the landing page. I honestly just did it on Notion just to put the most important things there. But if you have any questions, let me know. But this is how our week is gonna go. We are just gonna go through. Why is it so weird? Oh, it's because we did this. That's why. Okay. So the first week we're going to go through the setup, what kind of boilerplates you need for your TypeScript, or if you don't want to do TypeScript, it's okay because Python engineers are still in demand too. Not as much as TypeScript, but Python is great for backend. So if you want to just focus on Python, you can too. Just pick up the project and we're gonna talk through all the things that you can build throughout the bootcamp and give you more guidance in the beginning to set you up for success. And we're gonna work on like production grade stuff here. Okay, you're not gonna be doing simple rack stuff you can find out there. You're gonna have to work for the results, and you have to define those metrics with us to make sure that this is a nice piece for your portfolio. You can either use it when you're getting a job or getting your first consultant clients or maybe contracting jobs. So this is going to set you up for that. Or maybe like you want to build your own startup. I think that's going to be really cool if you do. I would be really excited if somebody would just like launch a startup from our bootcamp. But that's the whole point. Uh, uh, yes, Frederick, 5 weeks and 1K are small investment for them. That's what I've been telling everyone. Like, that's the whole point. And like the co-teacher that we have, Hi, he gets paid by enterprises like 5 figures to teach them these things. And I'm like, please, can you please do it with me? So I'm really excited for this. And I'm not sure if we're going to actually do this next time. Hopefully we do. I don't know though, because we might even like launch our own things. But this is going to be a great experience. Uh, is it going to be weekly live or all together videos? Because some of us may be up to speed already. Great question, Pratik. So again, take a look at this as a coaching program, not so much like academic. By coaching I mean we're gonna guide you at the skill level you are. So we're gonna have a one-on-one like face like conversations to understand your situation. That's why this is a small investment, because nobody's gonna talk to you one-on-one for 5 weeks for this small price. Usually people charge $10,000 to like sit with you throughout this whole thing. So it's going to be very much customized. We're going to know your name. You're going to know everyone else's names. It's all about the network at the end of the day. And we're going to work with where you are so that you can learn the things at your own pace. Maybe some people I know, one of the graduate students who said, I have like, I have like graduation examinations at like in April and I don't think I'll have enough time for capstone. I said, you know what? If you can focus on the capstone in the beginning, we're going to give you all the things that you need up front so you can build and finish things earlier and so that you can do your other things. I could still count your submission. You could still be featured in front of all these people. Just make sure that you get done. The point is here not how much you work, but what's the impact that you can make. And we're going to work with you. Uh, how to build AI agent? What mobile? I'm not like that's not the question to me. What time on which days? So the time and the days we're gonna pick based on our cohort. Most likely, like we're gonna have it in the afternoons and the evenings, and on the weekend, so that our full time employed people can still join as well. And we're also gonna have a lifetime access for all of the materials that you're gonna get. And there's gonna be plenty. You're gonna work with web search tools, web scraping tools, extraction and retrieval tools that are performant at scale. And you're going to build your own custom evaluation frameworks, which companies really, really need and not that many people know. And yes, you can watch them when you have time. So it's basically up to you. Uh, I am a PM with no coding experience. How would you set up the essential coding? Amazing question. Amazing question. Because again, remember how I said you can pick up any coding skills, any software engineering skills if you know how to work with AI coding tools like Cursor? We're going to show you how you can set up your own coding assistant so that you can gradually learn the fundamental skills of software engineering. And not only that, will give you foundational like bullet lists that you need to understand conceptually so that you can navigate this easier, because there isn't that many. Honestly, there isn't that many. If you're not technical, you just need to understand a few things about software engineering that we're going to put. It can be like knowing how to work with functions, knowing how to work with different data structures, with different files. We're just going to put it together so that you have it as a cheat sheet. And again, if you're not technical, it's probably time for you to be technical and stop being afraid of this, because nothing scary about software engineering. It's just the notations that and the language they use that seems complicated, but everything else is like you can learn it. How do we register? Did I send you the link, guys? Did you see? I don't. uh oh, okay, here it is. Oh, so I made the 10% off discount just for the webinar, because the last one is expired that we had for the early signups. And if you attended the webinar, this is only for you. Like, I'm not sharing this anywhere else, because you sat with me for more than an hour and you heard what I said. And if you still feel like this is for you, then it means we're best fit. If you think this is for you, then this is probably like you're the best fit, because I didn't talk to anybody else like for hours like with you. So you know the program the best, and I'm giving the discount, the 10% discount for the webinar attendees only. Any prerequisites? Shahal is asking. Uh, I don't know if I can like. Is this the same link? Oh no. Oh. Anyway, I'm gonna read out the questions instead. The question was, uh, any prerequisites for this course for non-technicals? So the prerequisite is if you understand fundamentals of Python, like if you worked with it like at least few months, did some scripts, did some maybe data analysis with pandas or some stuff, like just a little bit of those, just so you can understand like how to work with libraries. But again, if you're non-technical, it's not that hard to pick up for the Python part. And if you can just have access to us, and which you will during the bootcamp, that way it'll be easier for you to transition than to learn it on your own. So Python is the only requirement. If you have more, amazing. You're still gonna learn a lot. But yeah. Is re-ranking what we do using Python's re-ranks library, or there more to it? There's definitely more to it, Yash. Re-ranking is not like that. Uh, there's different ways to retrieve things and rank them accordingly based on keyword search. I mean, based on keywords or based on dense versus sparse retrieval. So we're going to talk about that and how to combine them. I don't think I had this in my RAG course, but anyway, the RAG course was very beginner friendly. It was all about beginners. It wasn't about just like production grade stuff. This is the production grade stuff. This is something that you do if you want to get eventually a job or a contracting position or be a consultant or implement your own Gen AI solutions. The prices is in US dollars. Yes. Can you please give the discount code? The discount code is Web10. Does it work? Can you guys tell me if it works or not? Because it should work. But if you have any like questions, let me know. I'm gonna. Is there everything that I said? Let me see. I think there's like. Oh yeah, I have this little thing. What? Oh. Yes, we're gonna have 12 live sessions. We're gonna have weekly Q&A sessions and demo days. You're gonna be sharing with like your group mates what you learned and what you built, and we're gonna be like, yo, that's so cool, or yo, this is bad, that you can improve this. So this is great feedback based learning, and then you're gonna have opportunity to collaborate and uh yes, what, let me just finish saying what I was saying. Daily technical and career, what's there? Oops, I'm still figuring this out. uh Oh yeah, that's better. Daily technical and career support. Career support. We in the link that you'll find here, I put a $300 gift for you for a one-on-one talk with me at the end, so we can talk about how to use LinkedIn to get all those clients, all those jobs. Because I've been like on LinkedIn for years now, and I've amassed a great following and an amazing network. People from open source, founders, venture capital investors always hit me up for different opportunities, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Uh, who's gonna be on the other side of one on one? What do you mean? Like it's me? Hi? Oh, hi. Yes. So that's like that's crazy how like I didn't even talk about him, but I did. So like it's gonna be hi and me and everyone else in the boot camp. We're gonna be talking with each other, sharing things, and you're going to be asking questions in an intimate setting with us, and we're going to invite these speakers that are coming on the bootcamp as well. We're going to have Yasser. uh, is a founder of Chatbase. Have you guys heard Chatbase, by the way? So he also built an agentic company, and in the first 2 years, he made $5 million, like annual revenue, and that's insane. And he has only like few people as engineers, and we're gonna make him come over and share what he did, how he built it. He's gonna spill all the secrets. And guess what? Another guest that we have is founder of Autogen. Autogen, if you guys have heard, it's like a massive open source multi-agent orchestrator that has like 40,000 stars. She's amazing. She's gonna be here and talk about how they build things and share their insights. And we're gonna have more industry leaders like this for you to interact with, and it's gonna be great. How many hours per week approximately we need to put in? So at least 5 hours. 5 hours uh, of your time is needed, but I always encourage more if you can. But if you can at least do 1 hour a day, you're a champion. I know many of you have kids, many of you have full time jobs, but if you can commit to at least an hour, just like listening to what we say on your commute or like reading the things that we send you, or like experimenting with the things that we provide. Just like all these things compound, especially like when you're in the collaborative environment. You're gonna see all the pings, bing bing bing, every day people are sending what they're doing. It's gonna motivate you, it's gonna make you be more consistent, it's gonna make you learn 10 times more. So yeah. That's why it's going to be only cover the AI agent or overall AI developer. Overall, this is not just agents. Again, uh, we're going to be talking about tracing, evals, testing, how to keep track of everything that you do, how to continuously improve whatever you build, because in the real world, the development never stops. It always continues, and you need to create a setup, an infrastructure for that, how you can deploy things in production. That's what we're going to teach. It's not only going to be agents. You can take your course online on agents and call it a day, and that will be probably not the best, probably the worst type of project that you can do, because employers don't care about that. They care about your impact. They care about how many users you were able, how many calls you were able to uh, scale your application. Sorry, I'm looking at the, where is my face? I can't find my face. Oh, okay. Yeah, basically it's not about AI agents. If you have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna the seats are limited, and make sure that you get your seat before we close the registrations. Otherwise it'll be too late, and I'll be sad if you won't make it. Tag day, Sean. Oh yes, I will respond to your email. I saw your email. I am interested. Okay, cool. I think that's about it, guys. Uh, hope you guys got value from today's webinar, because I really put in lots of work and I want to inspire people to get into this. Uh, oh no. Can you guys hear me? It says anyone lost sound, frozen screen. Uh, I don't know. So how many people are you allowing in the boot camp? It's going to be only 40 max people. And that's like because we are only two people, and we want to make sure that the experience is great. Everyone will get enough attention. So make sure you get in. I think we do partial payment? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure just yet. I need to talk to Hi, but people who will can register, please register now, because we're not going to be opening any more seats. I know there's going to be last minute people, but I don't have time. We don't have time. I think this program for US residents. Anyone is open. Anyone is open. It's not only for US. How long will the 12 sessions be? It will be around an hour and a half. We're going to have Q&As as well. And I think that's do we need to come with the ready idea? Okay, so this is a great question. You don't need to come with a ready idea for the project. It's better that you talk to us in the first week, because again, we need to show you all the technical stuff in the beginning so you have a better idea of what you can build. But again, if you have some ideas, amazing. If you don't worry about that. We'll help you with that as well. Great. I think that's all, guys. I am super, like, my throat is but I had fun today. I hope you guys had fun too. I share the project. I'll try to make more projects for you in the future, in the live sessions like these, or just on LinkedIn, so that more people can like understand how to get into AI engineering, because this is the role. This is the role to get into, and I'm excited for those who are stepping into this. And no matter if it's through our bootcamp or it's through outside coaching or anything, like maybe they're even getting their first jobs. Like, I am really excited for anyone who's entering this field, because there's so much upside, and And if you've been searching for a role but you weren't sure what to get into, then this should be a great start. But yeah, don't miss out on this opportunity, guys, for in 2025. It's going to be our year. All right. Everyone, have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you in the future. I had a great time. Thank you for coming in today. And I will send more info on the email with the materials. But yeah, bye.